Okay, so in partnership with the videos that are on my website, I wanted to show what to do during the work time when the students are working on the activity. So on day one, we start out with base 2. So, and that is explained in the video already that is on my website. So, but once you let them go and do their work, what they'll be doing is they need a marker, they'll need a fusion machine, and they'll need a Shazammer, so basically an eraser. So for that they can use a cloth or just their hands, whatever. Okay, so they're gonna start by, you're gonna tell them to just draw a dot and then code. So we bring in a dot and then we code. We bring in another dot, and because it's a base 2 machine, it Shazams, fuses together, and goes to the next compartment. So then I would code that. So that would be 1, 0. Okay, then we bring in another dot, and then 1, 1. Okay, so that's what they'll be doing day 1, and they go all the way to 24. And then if some students finish that and are done early, then you can ask them, hey, why don't you try a base 3 machine? See if you can figure out how that works. And they could try something and then show you, and then you could discuss with them why what they did works or doesn't work. But yeah, so that's so day 1 is base 2 machine. So at the end of day 1, you're going to say to them, hey, I want you to think about how a base 3 machine works. So then when they come in the next day and we introduce them, go through base 2 and introduce them to base 3, and then you send them off once again. And they're going to go through and do a base 3. So we bring in 1, code, bring in 2, code, because there's no Shazam until there's 3 objects. Bring in a third dot, and then, it Shazams, and then fuses together and moves to the next compartment. So a 3 would code as 1, 0. Okay, and at this point, near the end of this class, you can have a discussion with them about what symbols are being used, because notice you'll never use the number 3 in a base 3 machine, because as soon as there's 3 objects, it Shazams. Same in a base 5. If there's 5 objects, it would Shazam, so you would never use the number 5 when you're coding in a base 5. So day 2, they're going to go through all the way to 24 with a base 3 machine. Some will finish very quickly, and so then you say, hey, why don't you do a base 5, or let them pick. It just has to be a base less than 10. So they might move on to a base 5, okay, and then they would code with that. Okay, so that will be day 2. So they can do as many different bases as you want them to do. Okay, so then on day 3, that's where they're going to need something slightly different. So in this, they're going to, let me just check if you can see that. Okay, so in this one, basically they're going to be doing the same thing, but with now the base 10 blocks. Okay, so they're going to bring in a dot, or a cube in this case, and code. So we're doing a base 10. Okay, bring in another dot, code. Okay, and then you keep going with that. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then when they bring that next dot in, they're going to, that's 10, so it's a base 10 machine, so that's going to fuse together, and move to the next compartment. So now we would code this as 1, 0. Okay, and then we'd keep going. 1, 1. 1, 2. So they would keep going with that. until, you know, they keep going and they got, so let's say they have 99. Okay, so they've got 9 of those, right? And 9 of these. Okay, so we're at 99 at this point. Okay, so then we bring in our another dot. So our 10th cube, it fuses together and moves to the next compartment. So now I have 10 of these. So that fuses together and moves to the next compartment. So that one would be 1, 0. So 1, 0, 0. And then we bring in another dot. And we've got 1, 0, 1. And then they keep going. And they're going to bring you this sheet, but tell them that they have to show you what that final picture looks like so that you know that they've used the blocks as opposed to just writing the answers. Okay, so the whole process here, I don't care if they notice the number pattern. That's not what I'm wanting them to practice. What I'm wanting them to practice is that physical action of what's happening in our number system and how that codes. Okay, and the fact that I'm going to Shazam these guys and fuse them together to make that. Okay, so yeah, good luck and hope everything goes well. Love to hear if there's anything different that's occurred that you feel like sharing. Okay, bye.